Unrequited love, the mistakes that kept me in the friend zone, and how I could have changed everything. 1. Introduction, a love that was never mine. For years, I found myself stuck in an agonizing loop, watching the woman I cherished deeply fall for everyone else but me. She wasn't just someone I admired from afar, she was my best friend, my closest confidant, and the person I yearned for more than anything else in the world. Yet, despite all my efforts, I remained unseen by her in the way I desperately wished to be. I clung to the belief that if I stayed patient, kind, and unwaveringly present, she would eventually realize I was the one for her. But that moment of revelation never came. Instead, I stood by helplessly as she offered her love to others, while I nursed my silent heartbreak from the sidelines. Now, reflecting on those years, I can clearly see the mistakes I made. Mistakes that countless men unknowingly repeat. The hard truth is that women don't fall for the guy who's perpetually available, endlessly supportive, and never bold enough to act. They fall for the man who awakens their deepest emotions, the one who taps into their subconscious cravings for excitement, challenge, and a profound emotional connection. 2. The biggest mistakes I made in love. I thought being the nice guy was all it would take to win her heart. I convinced myself that if I just kept showing up, if I stayed consistent and caring, she would eventually realize how much I loved her. But here's the hard truth. I couldn't have been more wrong. Here's where I messed up. I was always there. I made myself too available, stripping away any sense of mystery or intrigue. There was no challenge, no spark to ignite her curiosity. I created emotional tension. She didn't have to chase me, didn't have to wonder about my feelings or whether I was interested in someone else. I handed her all the certainty, leaving no room for excitement or anticipation. I acted like a therapist, not a lover. I listened to her problems, gave her advice, and offered her endless support, but I never gave her a reason to see me as someone exciting or desirable. I suppressed my masculine energy. I held back from flirting, from taking risks, from showing her the depth of my feelings. I was too afraid to be bold or to make my intentions crystal clear. And that, right there, was the recipe for staying in the friend zone. 3. The mixed signals that kept me confused. There were moments when I truly believed she might feel the same way about me. She would call me late at night just to talk, lean on me whenever she needed emotional support, and say things like, "I don't know what I'd do without you." Those words gave me hope. But every time I tried to move things beyond friendship, she'd retreat with a line like, "You're such a great friend." I didn't understand it at the time, but those mixed signals weren't entirely her fault. They were the result of my own behavior. I had unintentionally conditioned her to see me as a safe, dependable, and comforting presence, rather than someone she could feel genuine attraction or romantic desire for. 4. The wake-up call. How I lost her for good. One day, everything shifted. She met someone new, and within just a few weeks, she was in a serious relationship. The way she looked at him, the spark in her eyes, the excitement in her smile, I had never seen her look at me like that. That's when reality smacked me in the face. Attraction isn't about being the nicest guy in the room. It's about being the guy who stirs something deep and powerful within her, the guy who makes her feel alive. I realized then and there that I had been playing the game all wrong. 5. What I should have done differently and what you can do now. If I had known then what I know now, I would have handled everything completely differently. Here's what I should have done and what you can start doing today to avoid the same mistakes. Trigger her hero instinct. Women are naturally drawn to men who make them feel protected, admired, and needed. Instead of always being readily available, I should have given her reasons to admire me, moments to miss me, and a chance to see me as someone irreplaceable. Be a challenge, not a safety net. Instead of always being emotionally accessible and instantly responsive, I should have created some tension. Letting her wonder where she stood with me or making her put in effort would have shifted the dynamic in my favor. Lead with masculine energy. Women are attracted to men who confidently take the lead. If I had expressed my feelings boldly and taken initiative, instead of waiting for a green light or permission, everything could have been different. Be willing to walk away. Confidence is magnetic, and nothing shows confidence like valuing yourself enough to walk away when needed. If I had set boundaries and refused to settle for a painful friendship, she might have seen me in a new light. 6. Where I am now, a lesson learned. It took losing her for me to truly understand where I went wrong. But the lesson I learned has completely transformed the way I approach love and relationships. Today, I no longer try to convince women to love me. Instead, I focus on understanding what really makes a woman feel an undeniable connection to a man. If you've ever found yourself in the same position, trapped in the friend zone, confused by mixed signals, and wondering why she never sees you that way, it's time to stop waiting and start taking charge. Women don't fall for the guy who patiently lingers in the background. They fall for the man who sparks feelings they simply can't ignore. 7. Conclusion. It's not too late to change everything. I spent years hoping, wishing, and waiting for her to love me back. But love doesn't bloom from loyalty, patience, or kindness alone. Love happens when you tap into her deepest, most primal desires, when you make her feel something that no one else can. If you're in love with someone who doesn't see you the way you want them to, ask yourself, are you truly activating her attraction, or are you just another nice guy, quietly waiting for a chance that might never come? The good news? You don't have to stay stuck in this cycle. If I had understood these principles earlier, I could have rewritten my entire story. Now you have the chance to learn from my mistakes and start creating the love story you've always dreamed of today.